To be in with a chance to win this prize in this week's show, guys, subscribe to the channel Miniature Art TV and remember to leave a comment. But stay tuned to see what comments we want you to leave. Enjoy the show.
Mini Matters, a miniature painting podcast.
Yeah, what's been happening then with you guys?
I didn't know you were starting. Have you hit record?
I have, yeah. I'm firmly recording, yeah.
Right.
Conversational, that's what we want, isn't it? It's all about the relaxed vibe. I'll tell you what though, you might notice that I'm slightly red. I don't know if it's that visible.
I wasn't going to mention it, Jamie.
Yeah, I feel like I realised also, look at the gleam. My head is shiny.
It's nice and shiny, yeah.
And that is just a small perspiration across all of my head.
You're not one of these rare painters who's actually ventured outside of his own room, are you?
Yeah, the thing is, I've been basically house ridden for like 6 weeks. Well, that's not true. I mean, I went to the shops and stuff, but I've not done anything. Like, I went and played football in the park with my mate, and that was literally just kicking the ball to each other. And then the next half an hour, I just basically died. And he was like, we didn't run anything. I was like, no, we ran a lot. He was like, we literally didn't run at all. So yeah, I've been ill. I don't know why, but I've not painted for like the exact amount, or maybe longer. I don't know. It's an emotional start because the missus went away, as you know. She left me for 6 weeks, and beforehand I was like, I think I got ill because I was trying to do a lot. You know when you've got like an assignment at work or something, mm-hmm. and you're working hard, and then as soon as you finish, you normally get ill.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that happened, and I've been doing that now for the last 18 months because of the kid. So then now I'm ill for 18 months worth. So anyway, I literally I've had no motivation to do any painting at all.
How long have you not painted for?
I mean, Lionel, how long's a piece of string? And it doesn't really work, does it? Because there is a definite amount of time.
There is a definite amount of time.
All right, so the last thing I painted was that orc statue. You know, the goblin, the gobbly-gob.
Oh yeah.
And that's not even finished. So I don't know, 3 months. Probably.
Wow. No, I don't think it's as long as that. It can't be as long as that, surely.
All right, let's quickly deduce some stuff.
Although, I suppose it doesn't really matter.
Mini matters.
In many ways. Only minis matter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think people go through these patches, don't they? You know,
I see what you mean.
You have a phase where your paint shed loads of figures. You know, whatever that might be, whether it's, you know, armies kind of grabbing you by the
proverbial nuts, yeah.
And kind of, you know, you really want to get something done for competition, but then you kind of end up going into that almost that malaise time. Either you've not been well, or you've kind of down tools for a bit, and you know, maybe not for you guys because you're busy family men, but you know, computer games might take over, or you know, all these sorts of things.
Did it? Yeah.
Where people might for some reason slow down their painting. But so, what do you think's happening with you then, Jamie?
I think you need to be more specific, Pete. In terms of painting, Jamie, what's happening with you?
Well, I think the gaming addiction is real. Because I started playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2, which is one of my all-time favourite games, and it's brilliant. Like, it's 8-bit. It's just truly fantastic. But I must have played that for like a month and a half, just full on. Anyway, and then I got addicted to Diablo 2 again.
Really?
And
so, is it the case that it's not that you've lost your mojo, but you're being distracted by something else?
No, I think what happened was I got stuck, and that's what happens when I stop painting. I can't resolve something, and then I just get annoyed with it, and then I think I just want to do something that's really easily gratifying, which is a computer game that you've been playing for the last 20 years. Hold on, one sec. So if we just jumped, I did some stuff with some other stuff. So yeah, basically, I get stuck like often, and like it was the same with the dragon, where I'd been painting it for like 2 months, and then I just couldn't resolve the colour of a painter or something. And
we're now getting proper echo, Jamie.
Yeah, okay. So we fixed the echo. Yeah, I don't know. I find it. I don't know if it's demoralising or what, but it is just like you just get stuck. You guys obviously have had it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, definitely. A number of times over the years.
Yeah. What do you do?
Well, this is an interesting thing actually, because I remember raising it on a hobby chat that I was on about, do people have burnout and get stuck, and even Alfonso admitted there are days where he just doesn't want to paint. But I've changed my approach now actually, because I was doing that, but I've changed it in the sense that I've made a conscious effort, obviously, in terms of learning that I want to improve as a painter, and now I'm treating it more as a job. So I'm coming downstairs and I'm actually putting in at least between 30 minutes to 2 hours every day, regardless of my mood. And if I feel that I'm not feeling it, I'm just painting through it. And the most extreme case I had is the bust. I think, Jamie, you might have seen it on the forum that we're on. But the bust that I'm painting in terms of the devil guy, which is half a human face and half a. I actually, when I started that, that was just a normal human skin. And then I got a tooth infection about 3 weeks ago that needed antibiotics, and I was in a lot of pain. And that's when I came down, and I started painting the other half of the side of the face, and it became a devil. And I sculpted a horn on it because actually the pain that I was feeling.
Oh, it doesn't come with the horn.
No. I sculpted that on myself, and that was kind of because where my head was at that time. I didn't want to paint. I was in a lot of pain. I was uncomfortable, and it kind of came through in my painting.
True art.
Yeah, in that sense. So yeah, what I'm doing now is when I don't feel like it, I'm just coming down and I'm putting the hours in. I'm just taking a different mindset. Even if I don't feel like doing it, I've decided if I want to get better, I just need to paint through it.
So you're basically saying just
got a
just
choice,
do
haven't
it.
you, basically, the choice is, why are you painting? I suppose the decision you've got to make is about why you're painting.
Yeah.
So obviously for Lionel, it's about that kind of that growth and that continuing to improve, and a goal of being a better painter. If you are painting as a way of relaxing from your day job, and you're struggling, you might take a different path. And sometimes it might be the challenge might be with the particular project you're on. So when I've been I don't want to mention how long I've been painting again, because it just makes me feel old. But this happened to me in the past, and a couple of different things I've done. So one has been just go with the flow, do what makes you feel happy. And if that
and don't question it.
Heroes of Might and Magic, or Grand Theft Auto Online, or whatever it might be, roll with it.
Yeah.
If that's what's going to kind of chill you out after you've been working hard all day, or you pick a different project, do something else. I always end up having multiple different figures on the go, because if I get bored or kind of lose the flow with my Imperial Fist, then I can grab one of the busts I might have already started and carry on with that.
It's an interesting one, though.
There's lots of options, but it all depends on why you're painting.
Yeah, I suppose I don't know. I think that's a good, don't really have any real goals in it. I think it is probably relaxation, because the problem I have with computer games in general is you never get anything out of them for real. No. Do you know what I mean? I love the games, but once you've completed a game, you kind of look at yourself and you go, what have I actually gained from playing a game? Yeah. It's hollow. It's kind of like.
But there's a lot of things people do for the experience of doing it. So from that perspective, imagine going abseiling, right? So you go abseiling, you attach yourself to a rope and walk backwards off the edge of a cliff, right?
Scary stuff.
It's all right. It's all right. I quite enjoy it, but you don't have anything at the end of it, apart from the fact that you've walked backwards off the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
And so people use an argument about these sorts of things, and it's not entirely, doesn't quite add up. I know what they're trying to say, but it doesn't quite add up. Yeah. It's to do with that whole virtual world thing, isn't it? So you're in a virtual world when you're in a computer game.
I think that's the problem.
It's not real, which it's not.
You only get good at that thing, right? So a computer game, you only get better at a computer game. Abseiling, you do gain a bit from it, like spatial awareness, your own limits, your own boundaries. Like you go off you go over the edge and it's like scary, and then you overcome that, and then you abseil down. Whereas a computer game, it's never really scary. Or I don't know. This is such specific examples, but I always feel hollow after. When I finish a game, I'm like, especially one, like Diablo that I've been playing for the last 21 years or whatever it is, like I've done it already. Really, really not gaining it. Whereas when you finish a model and you learn something, you do feel. Go on, Lionel.
Well, I suppose it depends. It goes back to what Pete says: is why you're doing it. You don't need to have an outcome at the end of the computer game, providing you're enjoying the experience and it's relaxing you, or it's a distraction. So I was the same. I've not had a console now. The last console I had was a PlayStation 3, and I've never kept up with it. And I've kind of, I don't want to say grown away from it because it sounds a bit like I'm being patronising. I've just taken a different path. And I think the reason I still kept physical gaming, as in terms of miniature gaming or painting, is at the end of the day, I like the social interaction it leads to. So we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for us going to a painting course. And when I meet my friends at Warhammer World, do I enjoy the game? Actually, sometimes I sit out and I let other people play when we used to play because I didn't enjoy the game. But what I did enjoy was being around that table with 3 or 4 of my closest friends and socializing. So I suppose it's that aspect. If you're saying you don't enjoy gaming because you don't have the social aspect, then I can understand that. But if you enjoy the experience itself, then there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Apart from the fact that it's taking you away from painting.
Yes. So you also got to decide what's having the impact. Are you not painting because you're not feeling it, and therefore you're finding another outlet for kind of that
time wasting?
Or is it that you're playing the game and it's taking you away from your painting? They're two subtly different things.
No, I guess everyone has their own reasons why they don't paint. It just happens at the moment. Is the only reason why I ever have breaks is because I'm basically too much of a pussy to actually work through the problem. Do you know what I mean?
But like Pete says, and I've started doing it now, is have 3 different projects on your table.
I've got 8.
Okay, what takes you?
I've literally got an entire row of models that I've started and then got stuck on, and I can't move past it.
All of them. Right.
That might be the problem as well.
Yeah,
too many.
Because you might find that if you put some of those away, put them in a box.
I haven't actually looked at them.
Look at the ones which are most inspiring and put everything else away. And then see what takes your fancy. It might be that sometimes a little bit of a push. So almost so halfway between what Lionel just described, his kind of more business-like attitude towards his painting, because he's got a goal of getting better. He wants to paint in a particular way and kind of strive to something. If you push yourself a little bit, so you don't necessarily have to paint half an hour every day, but if you push yourself a little bit, you might just kind of like tip over the edge, and all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, this is why I'm painting.
Floodgates opened again. Let's see. When we reconvene, we can assess where I've gone. I mean, I've started painting. I went to Albert's place like last week, and we did some painting together. And so I've painted a bit since then. So
I wondered who Albert. I was like, Albert's place is that, and I just realised. Who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So, and he's coming again tomorrow.
It's more like Albert or something like that.
To be fair, that's probably why you've hit a rut. If you're painting with him and looking over and seeing what he's doing, you're probably snapping your brushes.
Well, he did. He painted the face on the goblin that I was struggling with, and it nearly broke him because he's like, man, all I'd hear is, man, this model, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like,
but
it's not
old stuff. I thought
it was Forge World. Forge World's models, the sculpts and the large scale stuff are not the best.
They're crude, I think is probably the term I'd use.
I think they were done at a time before anybody understood really what was good on that scale, and they basically, not on all of them, but on a lot of them, they just took a 28 model and sculpted it bigger. Basically,
don't forget this. That's quite an interesting point you've just made there, Jamie. Because don't forget all the plastics before they digitally sculpted them. They sculpted them 3 up anyway. Yeah. So you're sculpting a 90mm figure in essence.
Yeah.
And then pantograph or whatever that magic arm thing is, which shrinks it down and kind of so making it smaller. So I think that's exactly what they were pretty much doing. So they all the proportions and all the sizing of everything was as if it was going to be shrunk down.
It's hilarious.
The other thing that's quite interesting as well. Actually, I've watched a couple of films this afternoon while I was on baby duty, and I've noticed now my painting is bleeding over into my other hobbies. So now when I'm watching films, sometimes I realise I'm not taking in the narrative, because I'm too busy studying colours, shapes, and studying the images. So what I was watching was this new Netflix animation, and the Transformers one, which is quite high end. And I found myself pausing and watching the weathering, how they've animated the weathering, how they've animated the chips, and whatnot, to the point where I was halfway through the show, and I didn't know what the story was. So mine's gone the other way, where I would normally go to something like TV or film, which is what I love, as a distraction. My painting is now affecting that leisure because I'm finding I'm watching stuff and I'm studying images too closely rather than just sitting.
Is it too close? Oh, right, yeah, for the enjoyment of the show.
Yeah, so I'll be fixated on a person's face because it's been hit by an OSL or a rim light. And I'm not looking at the whole screen, and I'm not listening to what the person's saying.
Don't you find it amazing, though, that these guys, obviously they're living and breathing it, but I find it that a concept or something that I've struggled with for so long, and I always get it wrong, and they're just boshing it out in animation like it's nothing.
But they're not, though, isn't it? And that's what I've realised since I've been studying these, because I've been watching a lot of the Disney Plus shows with my children, like Frozen, all the kind of shorts and and I realised all the colour theory is there. When you look at the colours on the screen and what they paired them up with, now that I'm learning colour theory, I'm paying more attention to it. None of it's an accident. I mean,
that's what I mean.
Of course.
They're doing it at such a high level, and it's so it's seamless.
But don't forget, there's lots of boffins who have written
programs,
computer programs, which are doing a lot of that physics. And kind of lighting is kind of happening in a slightly different way now. It's not like back in the day.
Tom and Jerry, isn't
it? You were actually painting it. They're now it's kind of they've created almost physical environments within the computers.
It's nuts.
It's just funny for me because obviously when I watched the first Frozen film a long time ago, you just don't take it in, and then you watch it again and you realise actually the reason Elsa's magic is that colour is because she's wearing a dress of that colour or she's in an environment of that colour, and it's once you start studying it you realise, even the Star Wars films and how the animations and the special effects there and the colours of the creatures and whatnot, it's all
crazy.
You think it's all a mix, and then you realise actually no, it's all, if you look at the environment and what he stood behind and what he stood next to, or the laser, what he's about to shoot, it's all very calculated. So it's a bit of an eye opener for me. It's probably my ignorance. You guys probably have realised
No,
that.
well, only when I started learning about this stuff did I realise, like, and like, you know, the colours have such a big effect on like the mood they want to create, and the armor, everything. Like, it's all colour theory. Basically, TV has just been colour theory, isn't it?
Ambience, and I think Frozen's a really good example, actually. That the ambience of that entire movie makes you feel cold.
Yeah,
the entire thing. It's pretty well executed. I quite like it.
Yeah.
Technically, obviously, I hate the music, and you would never let it go ever.
So there you go. So basically, our recommendation to you, Jamie, when you get into this rut again,
TV.
Stick Frozen 1 or 2 on, and that'll get you through it.
Well, it always makes me realise how little I know.
Just let it go.
Very smart, very smart.
There you go.
Have you noticed there's a cat here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to.
Yeah.
You did wonder what you were playing with.
We got rid of the cat, by the way, as you can see. Sorry about that. What is it? What is a cat?
Feline.
Feline. Anyway. You carry on.
Okay, so we'll round out with our new regular bit, which is the Mini Matters Daily Choice. As you know, we hunt the interwebs, Instagram and whatnot, to look for models that take our fancy, and then we pick them and select them. So we've got 3 to round out the show today, which Jamie will have the gallery for. And I've just realised...
Technology, isn't it?
I've got to go onto the thing, see. Yeah.
Look at that. I can just swipe through whenever I like. Sorry. It's not that big a deal for people who are used to it.
Okay. I'm not going to start off on this one because I've selected it, and I think it's pretty obvious why I've selected it. I'm quite one-dimensional in that sense. So one of you guys pipe up and let me know what you think of it.
First of all, the scale is tiny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
like to add to the impression.
It's a normal 28mm or 32mm. It's not a big scale thing.
Yeah, yeah. But he's gone to town on the damn what the hell is it called? Detailing. You know, like it looks small, but it looks like it could have been bigger, if that makes sense. Obviously, it looks small because they're so small, but the way he's done it, I'm assuming it's a he here, sexist. It's a he.
I think it's a he, yeah.
It's Captain America.
Oh, I meant the painter.
He meant the painter.
It could be Captain S America. Yeah, I think the colours really go well together, obviously. But yeah, the detailing is the most impressive thing for me. Because it is so small, but he's done quite a lot of... I don't know.
For me, that what he's managed to do, or she, is something I kind of struggle with, and that is they've managed to use primary colours in blue and red and managed to have them harmonious and also not too saturated. I've always struggled with saturation of red in particular. And this one, this particular model, that bright red on his belly could have really overpowered everything. But they've done a really good job of actually making that fit really nicely with the rest of the piece. I also like the lightning on Thor's hammer that he's borrowed. That works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Lionel?
I like it because it's like you said, it's quite small scale, so there's a lot of detail in there. He's painted it really well, and like you said, it caught my eye because it's Marvel based, it was comic book based, and I liked it, and it's well executed. There's not much more to say about that. It's done by, and this is what I hate about Instagram, is people seem to have handles that nobody can pronounce, but it's done by somebody, Aquilageo. But I'm gonna put it in post, the name there, so you know who it is. So if you want to see his stuff, follow that link or enter that handle in to Instagram and give him a look.
Also,
I think he's currently working on the Thor at the moment.
Oh, nice.
I suppose we can put the links in the description as well for everyone.
We will.
But also, he's done OSL, object source lighting, on the belt buckle, which is interesting. Yeah, I think that is it's silver.
You've got better eyes than me.
Bigger screen, isn't it? Bigger screen.
Any reflection, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've seen this big boy before.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
I like the fact. Yeah, let's drop the word OSL into the equation and flip to this particular piece, which is
OSL City.
outrageous.
Yeah. It really is. I think the terrain sells, like, not only does the model sell it, but you really get a feeling for it from the terrain as well. Like, it's coming from below, it's something, and it's orange. It couldn't be more obvious what's going on and well executed of what it is.
So it's so well executed, you can almost see that fire flickering, you know, in a weird kind of way, even though it's obviously impossible. But yeah, there's something burning, and it looks really, really effective.
Yeah.
I love the model as well.
I think what strikes out to me about this is it's obviously the new version of, is it Gaskell, the big boss orc. I look at it and I forget that I'm looking at a Games Workshop sculpt, because the paint style is so different to what you would normally see.
Yeah.
It's so moody. It looks like a 2D canvas print, the way it's been painted. And the paint job is that good that it takes you out of what the sculpt naturally would be, to the point when I see that I forget what the Games Workshop version or the heavy metal version looks like, which I think is a very clever thing to do, because those silhouettes and that style is so synonymous. If you can do a paint style which makes you forget about the box art, then you've done something well in my book. So that's what attracted me, as well as what you guys said about it being executed. I look at it and forget the W one.
I feel like it's night time and I'm sitting in front of a fire now. That's like, I forget, like, it takes me to another place in a good way.
It's amazing.
Thankfully,
who was it?
I was about to say, thankfully, this is an easy name to pronounce. It's done by Emperor's Paintbrush, and I believe he paints for a painting studio as well. So he's got skills.
Wonder if was this personal, do you know, or part of just some sort of commission? Or
I don't know. I haven't gone any further behind that. I've just seen it, obviously, and
that's not what we're about anyway, is it? We're just about good models, wholesome.
Yeah. If it catches our eye and we like it, then we'll.
Yeah, no agendas, unless Dragonhead models need to sell some models, and then have the agendas for. Yeah, this, I don't know who did this, right? But it reminds me of someone who's a good painter.
This one I've actually seen on Instagram before. I don't think I've seen the other two. That's really good as well. Yeah, how real does it look? Yeah, somehow it's straight out of Mos Eisley Cantina. You know, there's some weird looking flutes being played in the background. And you've gone in for a drink, and there he is, sat next to you, eyeing you up and down.
It's that orange. I've tried to recreate that orange because I saw it on one of Mark Maskeland's like sci-fi models, and well, that was probably the start of my not painting anymore, because I was like, this stupid orange, you piece of. And it just looks so easy. Like when I look at the model, I'm like, right. Piece of piss. I'll do that. Like 20 minutes, job done. And the reality is just so far from that expectation. Like, and again, whenever you can paint something that looks simple, it means it's an excellent paint job, because it looks real, basically.
I mean, for me, I like the colours and I like the way it's been, but it's the skin, the detail on the skin. That creature, that looks like a life study of a creature that could exist, because the skin looks that real. So you think she's seen this type of skin somewhere, and it's clearly not. She's obviously.
Is this a female painter?
It is, yes. It's a Karaj Nash. The only reason I say it's because. Sorry.
No. Carry on.
Yeah. The only reason is because obviously I saw it on Facebook first on the bust forum.
Right.
There's a profile photo there, and it's clearly a lady painter. But it's fantastic, and I think for me, it's the attention, the scientific attention to detail, where you look at that patterning on the skin. I wonder where she's got the influence from, whether she's looked at lizards or things, reptiles in a hot climate or a fish underwater. But clearly that's backed up with some kind of science, and then she's obviously put some artistic spin on it. But I think it's fantastic. As Pete says, it looks that realistic. You have to think twice that actually this is a fantasy creature that doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah, I think I'm going to steal some ideas from this when I paint my dragon.
I think there's some dinosaur reference input in there as well. I think when you look at some of the artwork that have been painted kind of for kind of historic documentaries or whatever about dinosaurs, and they kind of there's a certain way that they used to or still kind of paint them with with a real kind of colourful flair, and this has got that about it, but with a hoodie on.
Yeah. Actually, if you happen to be watching, pop in the comments where your influences came from for this. It'd be interesting to know. If you turn around and say I had no influences, it came straight from my mind, then my mind's going to be
genius
as well.
Yeah. All of a sudden we need to kind of flip to that kind of Wayne's World. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And then Jamie will stop painting again, or just give up again. After he got it back about 20 minutes.
It'll be really good.
In fact, we'll all snap our brushes, and you'll just ruin life generally for all of us. So that's our 3. Are we going to pick a personal favourite, or are we just going to?
Oh no.
Okay, hold on. What was the
favourite? Oh.
Well, I mean, for me, I would pick a model.
Go on in.
Oh no, I just meant a model. Like, I don't know which one, but it would be a model. Still can't tell when I'm being sarcastic, can you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone could tell Jamie was being sarcastic, please pop a comment below.
In the comment below.
Everyone can. I think you two are the only ones that can't.
Timestamps.
Yeah. Right.
Or maybe it could just become a drinking game.
Yeah, that works for me.
Every time you're sarcastic and we don't realise, people have to take a shot.
Yeah, but I'll try so much harder to be sarcastic then. It's always dry, isn't it, rather than just sarcastic. It's a blend. So yeah, do we want? I don't know. We used to give them out of 10, didn't we?
No, I don't think we ever did.
What? No, okay, just made that up, didn't I?
I think I'll go out on a limb then. Shall I just tell you my favourite? I think it's going to have to be Gazgul.
Yeah,
but it's very close.
But there are also 2 very different pieces, because Gazgul is very much about a setting, a mood, a feeling. This lady, I assume it's a lady. You know, obviously the lizards don't have genitalia up here; it's down below. Yeah.
Someone needs to drink again.
Yeah. This is for me a technical and brilliant execution, but it's not got the same atmosphere the other one's creating. So yeah, I think it's a very hard thing to judge. And then going back to him, it's also they're 3 completely different. So it's really hard to obviously you can pick a favourite. And that one, it's ticking some boxes because it's designed that way, isn't it? It's meant to give you that kind of feeling. So, like, subscribe, and share.
Let's just sit on the fence and say that they all belong there. We like them all.
Yeah, except that Pete's already put his out on a limb. Yeah, exactly.
To tell everybody which my favourite is.
Oh, okay.
Pete, you were meant to say no. I couldn't possibly say. So you failed the test.
Then you guys seem to be making a bit of a fuss, and so I thought, oh right, sod it.
Okay.
I think
if I'm pushed, it's going to have to be the. I accept all the reasons you say about Gazgul, and it is brilliant, and my heart is always going to be with the Captain America one because it's Marvel, but it has to be the final piece, the final. that one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Purely because of the attention to detail on the skin
Yeah.
and how well it's been executed.
It's phenomenal.
And once again, I look at it and I think that looks like a life study. It doesn't look like a fantasy piece. It's like she was kidnapped by aliens. She came back and she told a story through painting that.
Colour theory in there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange face.
It just looks so realistic. So for me, I'm going to have to pin my colours to that one if I have to.
Well, that means Jamie gets the
Casting.
Deciding vote. No, I'll obviously pick Captain America, and it's a draw. So, job done. I think
everyone wins.
I think. For me, the scale is like, but there's all different parts to all of them. But yeah, the scale is kicking this one. I think kicking it up a gear. I think try and do that at that scale, and you're just struggling, aren't you?
It's funny you should say that actually, because having gone back to a Games Workshop 28mm after painting busts and big larger pieces, it's so hard.
It's really hard.
I
don't know why they do it to themselves, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so difficult. If you want to go above tabletop standard, or you want to kind of do that display piece, it's so tough painting at that scale again after being away from it for so long. And this is smaller actually, because obviously Games Workshop stuff is heroic proportion, so bits are exaggerated, aren't they? Yeah. This is realistic proportion, so the limbs are a lot slimmer. It's a lot smaller. It's more.
The head looks like a head.
Yeah, the head's smaller. The feet and hands are much smaller.
Yeah, it's more like night model stuff, which is tiny stuff.
Whoever painted this, or if anybody knows, please let us know in those cheeky comments, because I would actually be curious. I know I could Google it, but it's a lot more fun getting other people telling me the answers. Because I would guess that it's like 25mm or something like that, not quite the 32 or 28. Just because
that a night models piece?
No, it's not. It's a 3D. It's a 3D print.
Could even be 20mm. It's not, but well, I mean, who's to say, Lionel?
This is where we find out it's actually 75mm.
Oh, imagine.
No, I on this one I have seen it because I was interested in it. I've seen stock photos of it in his hand, and it's small.
Wow. Right. It looks like the size of an Infinity model.
Yeah, that's right.
So like 28mm true scale.
Yeah.
Which makes think, anyway, I suppose. His chest is big, so at least he had a lot of space to paint on that. Because Captain America's a buff guy, so... Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, obviously.
So, that rounds us out then.
Yeah. Loving it, guys.
I just realised I've not told them what they need to comment on to win that prize.
Oh, well, there you go. That could have been a boo-boo.
So we need them to basically say to us what they would like us to talk about on the future show. So if you put in the comments what you'd like us to talk about in the future show, we will then randomly select one of those, and they will be the winner, and we will announce it on a future show. As well as subscribing. So subscribe to the channel, put a comment down below about what you'd like us to discuss on the future show, and if you've done both of those things, you'll go into the draw and somebody will be randomly selected to win that prize.
And with any luck for you guys, you'll be the only person commenting, and it basically means you're guaranteed to win. I don't know. I'm excited to see this. So yeah,
If you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, remember to subscribe and share.